funky right now. We will get it fixed shortly. Uh, yeah. I believe it is, yeah, going to swap around. Thank you very much. Sorry for that delay. Seeing as a little more peculiar, the exhaust coming through from the Morgana, how do you like that rune choice on the Morgana in this game?
I think the exhaust is fine because it's going to really prevent the Tristana from getting right down on top of you, and even late game it'll help stop that Yone or the Tristana if they manage to get onto you. I'm just very. Oh, it looks like we have a top lane invade going off right now.
Top lane invader trying to catch Sarge with his pants down, trying to see is Sarge paying attention. You'll find out shortly as he is now still on the and he's being seen at the Morgana Q hits him when Sarge is absolutely dead. The Cassiopeia with first blood coming through on the side of Naughty Boys.
And that's going to hurt a lot because now Cassio can back, get a mana crystal. Oh, she got a Doran's ring. That's fine too, because the one problem Cassio has at very early levels is with her E, that sustain, because you burn through so much mana, and that's going to help her a lot with that lane sustain, with the tier and the Doran's ring start.
Absolutely. And even thinking about it further, I mean, this is going to make pushing her out of lane even harder if you're on the side of Yone. But I guarantee you, if anybody can deal with the pressure on the side of CLG, it is definitely Uki Faker. We saw in game 2, Uki Faker is online in this series. After more of a quiet game 1, absolutely monstered the game 2 on the Ari pickup here.
Yeah, and it's looking like, Uki Faker, he'll be able to do well mid lane. He's got the fleet, he's got the sustain. I'm just so confused by this bot lane rune choice. I know I've hit on it before, but when's the Caitlyn going to get her auto attacks off in these team fights? Or in the lane?
What would you have liked to see instead coming through from Caitlyn here?
I think the fleet footwork would have been a lot better. You're going to have the Tristana poke on you. Rel and Tristana are going to look to engage. I don't think they have kill pressure on you because you do have the Morgana, but that gives you a little bit of health back, and plus it gives you a little bit of speed to kite around those that Rel crash down.
Can definitely understand your philosophy there. As we see coming through, the cleanse taken by the Tristana makes perfect sense. You see the fleet forward being taken by the Yone for that exact reason you talked about before, but the collar coming through from the Cassiopeia, how do you kind of, would you have preferred it over the phase rush? Or would you have taken the phase rush if you were Cassiopeia, or how would you kind of go about that?
I think the Conqueror's fine. The Yone is going to look to take extended trades. It's going to give her the healing, and I want to correct myself a little bit. Apparently, Caitlyn does go lethal tempo now, which is surprising to me. I was watching, some pro players earlier. Happens to go by the name of Sneaky, and he insists on fleet footwork Caitlyn, but it's also lethality Caitlyn, which I doubt we'll see this game.
Yeah, if there was a lethality Caitlyn, I'd be a little concerned for the for the mental health of the Caitlyn here in this game. If it was lethality Caitlyn, I'd be a little concerned, but. I do want to hit on very, very quickly the phase rush from Lilia. Now, we've seen a lot of optimization of Lilia really over her kind of life expectancy in the League of Legends meta. We've seen as a little bit 3-man room, a 4-man room coming through from Jelly. Not trying to get out of dodge, has to flash away. Uki was taking a really aggressive trade, but has to go back from the soul unbound. Tries to go 1-1, but it's not going to matter that much. It's a solid kill from the Hecarim onto Yone.
Yeah, and that's going to feel really bad for the Yone. I mean, it looks like the wave is pushing in towards him, which is, by the saving grace of God, going to save his life. But the Cassio's been fed so much already. She has the Doran's ring, she's tier, and now she's amplifying tone.
As the Volibear is going to be able to trade here to 2v2 on the map, but Cassiopeia commits the DP as Yone falls to be responsible. They're going to be a little bit late. Hecarim gets got by the Volibear, has to try and use the blast over the wall. Cassiopeia is still free, hitting on the back on the Volibear here, gets the shield from the Volibear E, and gets out scot-free.
Maybe it looks like Cassio's trying to pinch. There might be more fights up top.
Cassiopeia is trying to finish. It's a 2v3 on the map, but they are now on the wrong side of this fight. Volibear is still very weak HP, has to go in for a trade. Volibear going in for a little bit of trade here. Nothing necessarily blown besides the Flash from Morgana and the Exhaust as well. So with a trade of sums, it's a 1-for-1 and a trade of summoner spells. But crucially, Cassiopeia burned her Flash. So this is a 5-minute window where Cassiopeia is very, very vulnerable.
I'm sorry, I had to step out for a second. My cat decided that now would be a great time to knock my wine cabinet over. Did you just ask me a question, Naka?
No, not a question currently. I think earlier we were talking about kind of the differences in Lilia's kind of rune choice, and she went to take phasers this game instead of something like the Dark Harvest or the Predator or something along those lines. But yeah, as Jail is coming through for a little bit of a gank, Volibear is now holding this wave. This is really, really good. Forced to be overextended. This is absolutely fantastic play coming through from the Volibear. As the Splosion does miss out, the Vorpal Spikes, the Rupture rather, does dissuade Volibear from going in further. As they're just looking to keep up this freeze. And we see Hecarim is now passing. Hecarim is on the other side of the map, and so Volibear can just sit here and just soak up all of this, deny all of these waves. But crucially, the Volibear passive does make it very difficult for Volibear to actually hold the freeze, considering the fact that his passive makes all of his auto attacks AoE after a certain amount of time.
Rel might be dead.
Rel is going to get Gotcha. The outshock is proc. The crash down is there. Has to flash over this wall. Will do so nicely. But a really, really questionable engagement that's coming through from the side of CLG. They knew Hecarim was on the bot side because he didn't cover Volibear in that top side, so they knew Hecarim was on that side, on their side of the map. He went for the engage. As Volibear is now at level 6, we're looking to have a bit of an engage here, but he will just back away.
And one thing I want to point out too, this bot lane, one of the big reasons you pick Caitlyn Morgana is so you have that lane pressure, you can get all 5 plates, and you can get a lot of gold into that Caitlyn, just move around the map and destroy those turrets. However, Tristana just completely prevents that. And with the cleanse, we see it right now, Rafa is free to go out on the map, as the Tristana can basically do whatever she wants down that bot lane super safe.
Most definitely, as we see Tristana getting buffering the Morgana Q with the Tristana rocket jump. Very, very well played coming through from the Tristana, as the Lilia is definitely going through and taking away those camps. Lilia is up 1 camp. Hecarim is now doing the dragon. They knew Lilia was on the top side. They 2 to contest this dragon already, I'm pretty sure, as no one is actually moving yet. And so what I like to see is Lilia is go back into Hecarim's top side camps, try and get away with an XP lead. But looking to actually try and contest this dragon. Hecarim is a little low. He's on the wrong side of the map, has to get him with the Siri charge away. But they're just going to say, you know what? Thanks for the leash.
And that feels so bad for the side of Naughty Boys. The entire game, you've given up topside pressure. You've let your Cho'Gath get shoved in. He's been farming well. Yone ult onto the Hecarim.
As the Yone ult goes into the onslaught of shadows to try and buffer the Yone knockup. Does so safely and gets out scot-free.
But they've had bot side control for so long, even when playing shoved in, the Morgana has managed to keep wards around that entire area so they can get that early dragon, and it ends up just going over to CLG, and CLG already has a topside prior that they can now transfer into another Rift Herald.
There's definitely Jail is passing up towards that side here. I'm definitely curious to see how this is going to work out, as Rafa is now posturing for the play. Celius is staying safe in mid lane, and the bot lane of CLG is just going to kind of just scoot by here.
I'm surprised we're not seeing a rotation out of the Volibear and the bot lane. The bot lane has a great ability to shove. You have a Tristana. Volibear had the back timer. I'm surprised there was no rotation. Send the Volibear down there. They have no kill pressure on the Volibear. He might lose some CS, but he's already up so much, it doesn't really matter. So you send that Tristana Rel there, you get that early Rift Herald, you get that gold into Tristana, you let her run over the game.
Definitely a little perplexing here. What I am kind of curious about is to see the itemization coming through. We have obviously the shield bow being built from the Yone, very, very not surprising at all. But the Zhong is being rushed here by Jail. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I don't know enough about junglers to really say that, but I do know that Lilies usually go Moonstone first, and I feel like they're going to want to take extended team fights versus this comp because they didn't go Syndra.
As the sleep comes through, but Rafa doesn't flash over the wall. It's one for 0 trade instead for the Caitlyn as the bus shot buffers the Morgana ulti to get them all out safely, unless the hacker has anything to say about it. As Rafa's at 1 HP, has to go down soon. As the jump super shot a little bit early, but Hackerman's gonna dive under the tower. That thing comes up with a 2 for 0 clean for Naughty Boys. As Volibear is a big bear in this game, and so we're gonna see if a little bit of a trade going through from the top side that hits the Volibear, turns off the tower, tries to flash over the wall, hits the flat flash, but fails, and Volibear gets a sweet solo kill.
And there's a bunch, and I do want to point out that's a lot of gold to the Volibear, but that is a lot of plates over for the bot lane. You can keep that Cho'Gath behind, but Cho'Gath is still going to be useful. All he needs to do is eat a couple minions and he's useful. That's 3 plates and a lot of minions denied for that bot lane. And that's going to feel, the Tristana is now down 21 CS at 10 minutes.
That's definitely big as Rafa's coming through a little bit engaged here on the support. Onto the mid lane, definitely gonna try to hit him with the Yone ulti, but will dodge away nice and easy. He starts after soloing the Rift Herald. I like the play. They know Hector's not on this side of the map. They know Hector's not here, and so definitely a peculiar, definitely a really nice play coming through from the side of CLG. Now they know that they could just put it in top tower, and top tower would inevitably die, but they do want to protect these lane assignments. CLG really like these lane assignments right now, and they want to keep it that way.
I think they should die with the Cassio. I think they should just, oh, looks like...
As Amethyst is going to live with 1 HP, flashes away from just about nothing, but won't get out safely.
Yeah, I think they should have. They had Rel there. They knew Hecarim was bot side with the Morgana. They had Jal there as well, and Jal had the sleep pad. Oh, Rafa's stunned up.
As Rafa's just stunned up, is going to be taken down. Send the horse to the glue factory. Caitlyn gets another kill.
And just like we talked about, Caitlyn Morgana, the whole goal is to get all 5 plates, and guess what they're doing? They're getting all 5 plates, and it wouldn't surprise me if they backed after this and went mid.
Yeah, I mean, Caitlyn is so accelerated in this game. She has a full Gale Force at 12 minutes right now. That's first tower, that's 5 plates, 3 kills, 26 CS coming through. Ouch. Just simply, ouch.
You know, it's unfortunately, I think the side of scaling is on the Naughty Boys here, because Cassio is a 1v9 champ. Morgana keeps scaling up higher. Rel scales, Tristana scales, Yone scales, but the Volibear is the only one in the game that really falls off late game. Hecarim's still going to be useful. Volibear, not so much.
Most definitely. As they're kind of posturing in the mid lane here. Yukio runs into the Morgana queue, gets a little bit harassed, but nothing more. As
they're postured around the straight.
The Ocean has spawned in. They do not have mid prio as of now. Someone needs to go answer Yukio in the mid lane to get mid prio. The top lane is now pushing towards the Volibear, and so this is they need to have this fight quickly so Volibear can get back up to that top lane.
And again, just like last game, this is another fight where Volibear has TP. Oh, they're going in.
Oh, the sleep goes through, the ult comes down, the Magnus Guard comes through with an absolute giant wombo combo, and one person on the side of Naughty Boy has already died. It's a 1 for 2 on the play, it's a 3 for 2, and Cassie's trying to kite her way, trying to kite her hard, but it's getting crushed on their foot. It's a 4 for 2, Jawa's trying to run away, but Caitlyn has something else to say about it, and just decides to walk away entirely. It is a 4 for 1 on the side of CLG.
And you know, that's a lot of gold over the CLG, and again, just like last game, Naughty Boys are ahead, and then they just give it all over. And I want to see, just like last game, TTB, CLG was able to snowball that game off of the big throw play, and I wonder if they can do it again with this one.
Yeah, we have a Mountain Soul coming through from the side of the game right now, from the side of CLG. Also, Naughty Boys as well coming through. And honestly, considering both team comps, I mean, the Mounts was going to do wonders for the volley bear, for the Hecarim and the Cho'Gath, should they end up getting the Mountain Soul.
I think CLG needs to snowball these dragons. They have such a strong top side. Volibear is still 20 CS up. Did we see where the Rift Herald was dropped, or was the Rift Herald dropped? Or he still has it. He's almost out of time. It looks like he's going to be dropped top lane.
Yeah, nice job. It's a 3-man dive onto the Cho'Gath. Volibear has the ulti soon, so they can turn off the tower if he chooses to in a moment or two. Morgana is up here. She has now read this rotation. She's now up and trying to defend the Cho'Gath. Will do so nicely.
But unfortunately, I don't know if that Rift Herald is worth it, because they had the chance to drop it top when they had plates, and that's the only we got to engage in the lane.
As Kasifia puts down, has the ulti, gets it down, as Yone is on 1 HP, flashes, but flies into the Morgana. That's not going to do too well for you. Killing gets shut out onto the Yone.
And that's a lot of gold for Caitlyn. She's already so snowballed, and this feels so bad to play from so far behind as Yone. He's CSing amazingly. 154 CS at 16 minutes. Amazing CS, which is keeping him in the game. We got a Rafa Hexus over the wall, and nothing comes out of it.
Wall. Nothing's going to come out of it. Jayla walks into a trap. Not really what you want to see, as Volibear is going for a little bit of a flank, but nothing more is going to happen. Everyone's pretty weak, so everyone really decides to walk away. Considering the fact that...
Oh, sorry, you go.
Yeah. When you talk about the top lane, I actually agree with the play, because considering the fact that Cho'Gath could have just frozen the wave at its tier 2 tower, making sure the wave actually crashed back to Volibear is probably more important than getting that 160 gold. So I definitely agree with the idea of not just instant putting the Herald top, take the first tower.
Well, we gotta think about, there's also that first tower gold went over to Caitlyn instead, and that's allowed her to snowball. She already has the last whisper component of the, looks like she's gonna be going the Lord Dom's second item to pierce the cloth armor, I guess, on the side of Rel. Really important to negate that little bit of armor that CLG is building.
Yeah,
and the Zanya's, I guess.
Also consider the fact that the Giant Slayer passive is going to absolutely shred the Volibear down to size. It does more damage the more max health that a target has, and so Volibear is a really, really big health stacker. And we talked about it before, this build from the Volibear, the Nashor's Tooth build. You didn't rush it, but it did build the Basher's Tooth into the campaign. And so to do a lot of damage, is going to cement kind of Volibear's, definitely going to cement, definitely going to cement Volibear's hand in the split push game should it arise.
And I do like this Rift Herald take. CLG does the correct thing. They don't send a big team up to the Rift Herald. It's second Rift Herald, not as important. But the Volibear has it now. He also has TP. So when the dragon's up in a minute, he can start threatening. If they leave him alone top lane, the Cho'Gath has to TP down for the Drake, because the winning 4v4 is in favor of CLG right here. But if he TPs down, then Volibear defeats the base.
Definitely. The 1-3-1 is going to benefit as Rafa does leave the game, so it's going to be a little bit of pause. As Rafa is now back, we will see if issues have been fixed. But again, thinking about the 1-3-1, or rather a 1-4 coming through from the side of CLG, trying to handle this Volibear on the side is going to be an absolute nightmare coming through. How do you kind of see, if it does come down to more of a 1-3-1 situation, how do you see that playing out as the game goes on?
I think the 1-3-1, eventually, it's going to really come down to a skill matchup. If the Yone can hit the Cassio with his ult, then I think he wins that, but Cassio should win an extended trade fight versus Yone. And we got to engage onto Jal.
As a gauge on the Jail here, Jail gets one shot instantly as the lullaby does come through. Rafa does kill the Caitlyn. The Caitlyn just goes down. and it's an absolute disaster coming through from the side of Naughty Boys. Where's their damage? Who's gonna deal it besides Cassiopeia? And as
Ukyo sells his ult.
Yone with an absolutely fantastic ultimate as Rafa is trying to get into this fight, does the Magnus Storm, but nothing really gonna come and go. Anderson is trying to find an angle. He's trying to jump in. Ukyo is still trying to deal damage on the backside of the fight. Volibear is still running in. The Zonius baits the Volibear in, but is not gonna die. Cho'Gath does kill the Yone. He's trying to go for 2 kills here. The Volibear just
They missed every skill shot.
Morgana just misses the root, and Volibear lives, but crucially the dragon does go the way of Naughty Boys.
You know, and that feels like a big miscommunication on the side of CLG. They have the attract and repel on the side of Rafa connected with the Yone ult, and it feels like that should be the big thing. It looks like they're gonna look for more.
Yeah, they're gonna look for more here. It's a little bit almost on cooldown, but Jail is still trying to do a lot of damage. The flank TP coming through from the Volibear, trying to cut off the Cho'Gath, trying to cut him off so he can get into the kill. The Everfrost has come through from the Cassiopeia, trying to stop the Volibear ulti. The Volibear charge coming through right now, but Volibear gonna turn off the tower if they want to go for more, but it's not gonna go for it. They're just kind of pulling the wave away. They do get the dragon, but it looks like there could be a trade here. Rafa in at 1 HP, trying to jump in, trying to get a trade kill, but it's not going to matter. Cassiopeia gets the second kill onto the realm. And another hit coming through, another ulti coming down. That's double kill for the Cassiopeia. Volibear's trying to run away, but it's not going to matter that much. Cassiopeia gets the rooted down, and Kaelin finishes him off. It's a 3-for-1.
They're just running in one by one like bowling pins. Magnum Zhang with his Magnum Dong knocking them over one after one after one.
And so, but crucially, I want to point out, you talked about how they're running in one by one. The CC coming through, the Petrifying Gaze plus Everfrost. That amount of CC meant that Ukyo could just basically never move in that fight, including the miasma. After the fact, I mean, Ukyo was absolutely dead to rights there. And so that kind of combo really did a number on the side of CLG. As Cho'Gath literally just beats the minions, not able to win this fight. As Ukyo goes through the trade on the E, Rafa is not here to support his friend, misses the stun though. They're looking for a long time. Man, he's gonna have to stun this one fight. Morgana's coming through with the cover on the play, and the whole gang is looking for Naughty Boys. Ukyo had Cho'Gath trying to get out of here. Ukyo is trying to sacrifice himself to kind of make the game a little easier to play against. As Rafa gets away, as Volibear kills Cassiopeia, said that we're gonna get to him that later. As it's a 1-for-1, the Magnum Zhang taking out the Yone.
You know, and that feels so bad on the side. Oh, they're going for the Baron.
Oh, they're going for the Baron here? I mean, there's only TP on Ukyo, but it's not going to be up for another 30 seconds. As the Reds have no vision on this Baron, they have the Skull Crab. Volibear has no teleport, they just have to give it up.
Yeah, there's
it's at
no
7K,
way.
they're trying to maybe stall. Anderson is here, you need to come to play. Donnie, it's at 4.5K, it's at 4K, it's at 3.5K. They don't think they can test this. Jaw's not going to be here late in time. It's going to be almost gone as the Baron just gets stolen right under CLG's nose.
You know, and that feels they give all 5 members, they wait, they give it to the Cassiopeia. No one's going to be able to match the Cassio in the sidelines anymore. Yone's so far behind, he can't match the Cassio. This Cassio is a menace. Let me tell you right now, she is scary. On the side of CLG, there is almost no MR, so she is going to be doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, this Cassiopeia is no longer a Garden Snake. She's a full Viper on the side of CLG. Now, I do want to go back. Emistan has cut up. He's not even with the Caitlyn, but he's now close in farm at least, and so that is a small bright spot. As taking a look at the gold, Ukyo's only down 400 gold to the Cassiopeia, which makes it a little peculiar. The jungle 400 gold lead for Jail. The top lane is a 2K gold lead for Jail, but the Caitlyn is making up that sum and more. As Morgana is now rotating up to help Cho'Gath, but Jail is here trying to get it down. And Jail is trying to use those swirls. He's waste the lilting lullaby onto a target which already has the black shield on it. Volibear's at 1 HP, has the ulti for the HP, and gets taken down eventually by the Morgana. It's 1-for-0 on the play, but Yone with the 3-man ultimate absolutely erases half the Baron on the side of Naughty Boys, as Rafa's trying to go a little bit of extending the trade, and Hector McPhail are trying to lay down the damage. and Hector and Keelan just had to disengage the fight.
You know, Ukio TP'd in and said, team, please, we're going to win this game, and then showed him exactly how to do it, hitting a 3-man Yone ult right before the Dragon 2 in 34 seconds. Cho'Gath is going to be there. It's going to be there in time, and Zelius might not be there in time either. However, on CLG, the only Sartok is down. He has TP, but Joel might die here.
Jail, huh? Can somebody check?
Check came through. Hashtag paid by whoever is the captain of Naughty Boys. It's not Steve because he owns Team Liquid.
It's paid by Zelius, I guess.
It's Zelius.
It's paid by Zelius.
He'll be up in 20 seconds if they can stall for him that long. Sarge does have a TP for a flank, but again, he's showing they do not like using their TP flanks. Again, they have Sarge showing, and they're just going to give this Dragon.
Yeah, they really cannot fight with this Dragon. Only they can drag, so it's not impossible, if not particularly important on the side of CLG. But that win condition of stacking dragons is becoming much more like a nightmare than a dream coming through on the side of CLG. As we're seeing items start to be completed, the shield build coming through, the QSS is here, the Infinity is being built by the side of Yone. But we have the Everfrost, Archangel Staff, and Azalea is almost being completed for the Cassiopeia. The Archangel Staff, as a reminder, is not the Archangel Staff of old. It no longer gives the shield when you activate it. The shield is no longer there. And it simply gives you more damage per mana. As a Volibear is able to trade onto the Cho'Gath. As this is a big minion wave though, Volibear. I don't know if you necessarily win these, buddy. This is a big minion wave we're fighting into. As Jail is just taking a beating by this Morgana.
Well, and the problem is, even if, let's say CLG gets the soul, let's say it goes 2 more Drakes, Naughty Boys gets 1 more and still gets your soul, that is still so much percent resistances on that Cho'Gath, on that Hecker. This Cho'Gath is going to become a raid boss if they don't stop this Dragon stacking soon.
And Ukio was a little overextended the Cassiopeia, but the trade ain't coming through from the volley, but the TP is coming through. The TP is applied coming through from the thing. The Cassiopeia with the petrifying game is trying to cement the damage. The Volibear uses his ulti and takes him down. So the lifted level fight comes through his 2 people, but no one's seen the dying just yet. Morgana gets taken down as 2% overall. Hecker gets taken down as well. The Cassiopeia has flash with Yone. The Volibear is taking him down as the Bloodshot just saves Cho'Gath's life. As Caitlyn gets cut out by Rafa, he has to get stunned, but Rafa just goes down there. It's double kill for Caitlyn. Caitlyn is still dealing all the damage, and Emerson jumps in, takes down the Caitlyn. The Cho'Gath is next, and there's a double kill for Emerson. It's a 5-for-2 overall in the play.
I don't know if you played high school football, Naka, but I had friends that did. They were always posting shit to their highlight reels, and that play by Tristana is going to go on his highlight reel when he sends his resume in to Team Liquid to show Tactical how to play Tristana. Because that, my ladies and gentlemen, is how you play Tristana.
There are no Malphite ultis in this game today, Kyron, let me tell you that much. These Tristanas have been Goomba stomping on any fight that they're in right now. I mean, as Sarge just back on a ward, very interesting, especially because it's a control ward where you can very clearly see it. But again, we're thinking about how this game is starting to evolve, and the scaling is starting to come through on the side of Naughty Boys.
And if I'm Rafa in this situation, my Volibear backs in a control ward 19 seconds before the Baron and doesn't clear it, I'm just going to leave the game at that point in time. That is egregious. It takes 4 auto attacks to clear that Baron. You have extra auto attack speed because of the Nashor's Tooth. Don't tell me it wastes that time, because now Naughty Boy still has that Vision River and they know they can walk up safely.
Yeah, most definitely. They know it's a 45 at least for a certain amount of time being. And so they may even be doing something like timing the base timers, trying to get some edge in this game. This game is on a knife's edge, people. This is it. This is the game 3 want to see. 36 kills, 29 minutes. This is a game of inches right now, as the Med Prow is fully in favor of Naughty Boys. They have first access to the vision. The top wave is being stacked up here, and so we will see who will not go to Clear Dart. It will be Sarge Hawk, the man on the mission, the man with the plan, the volley Bizzle, trying to cement his legacy on this game right now. They're just kind of jostling, fighting for positioning here. The mid pro is being matched by Caleb. Ukio is just kill the Cassiopeia under the tower. This is a free engaged fight coming through. Ukio does have a game Baron. And so this should be 100% the Baron. They have full mid pro. They have to come face Dragon. This should be the Baron coming through for CLG. But red side is not going to give this Baron up very lightly. A blue side is not going to give this Baron up out of fight. Morgana is here. Hecarim is here. Jal is here. The Hecarim smite is at the exact same
level. Still there. They know exactly where he is.
The onslaught of Salad is available. The Crasher does come through. Ukio is on the TV point, but Jal is decides immediately before the fight even starts as killing is a double kill. Ralph on the primary, but he's not hitting anybody. It's a triple kill for the Caitlyn. It's a quadra kill, I believe, for the Caitlyn. No, it's not. It's a shutdown coming through from the Hecarim, as it's a 4-for-1 on the fight overall after the 1v1 solo kill coming through from Ukio, and it's just a disaster coming through on the side of CLG as Cho'Gath is trying to get 1v1 by the Yone, but it's not going to work out too well for him as Cassio wants revenge under Ukio for solo killing him, dumpstering him overall on the side lane, but Ukio was doing for so long. He's dodging every skill. He's dodging everything. Ukio Faker is absolutely on point as Cho'Gath gets to kill in the end, and the Baron does eventually go down. This might come early, but it doesn't matter. As Ukio as CLG loses the Baron, but damn, Ukio was close.
Ukio tried his best. He dodged everything, but unfortunately, you cannot dodge that Cho'Gath point and click ult. I want to point out that control ward I keep talking about. I'm a support, so vision's really important. That control ward is still there, and during that fight, Caitlyn got off 3 auto attacks that she normally would not have been able to get off without that ward there, and that made Rafa probably 400, 500 health, a lot lower than it would have been to start that fight off.
That is a transcendent ward. That is the most cost-efficient ward in the series so far in this game right now. And we were talking before about the dragon stacking, about how these resistances are going to start stacking up. It's 3 dragons. So this is a 4 dragon mountain soul coming through. This Cho'Gath, his gold deficit does no longer matter. This control ward is still alive. This control ward is absolutely 1v9ing this game. Engage in the vision so that she can get 2 headshot auto attacks off. She killed Jail in 0.2 seconds. Doesn't even have time to press the stop. Getting a little cut out right now. As Jail Paul is getting a little cut out right now. The kill only comes through. The Zonius comes through to try and save Jail, but it's not going to matter that much. Hecarim comes through with the kill. Volibear is now on the run. As he looks to be getting out very safely. He just stuns the Volibear. Nothing more. Hecarim, sorry. Nothing much more to it. As he's going to be looking for a dive.
Something I want to point out here too is the Oblivion Orb on the side of the Morgana. I would like to see that go into a Chemtech Putrifier, which, if you know how that works, if you heal an ally or shield them, they gain Grievous Wounds. Since Moonstone kills our allies, you give everyone near you Grievous Wounds, which is going to help out a lot with that Volibear and Yone.
Volibear, speaking of the Volibear, he has to blow the ulti a little preemptively here. Trying to keep himself alive. It's a tier 1 tower, but it's a trade-off coming through. It's a 1-for-1 in trade-off towers, but it could be 2-for-1 here just on a lot of damage towers. And so with that machine gun, she's going to be attacking all of these towers. It's 2 towers to 1.
That's what happens when you leave level 16 first time on the world.
Volibear does end up going down. It is 2 tower. It is 1 tower and a kill being traded for 2 towers. The killer looking for the auto reset headshot, and Jill is on 1 HP. But the Hecarim, the horsey, is so fast. He's just gonna keep going and killing him. But the stun has not stopped pushing here. And the Cassiopeia looking she's going down in the fight. Cassiopeia goes down. Cho'Gath is able to clear the minions, but
it's a base race.
It's a base race coming through. Yone is trying to base. And the red tower from Caitlyn goes down, but Yone cannot base in time. Cho'Gath stops the base, and the minions in the second tower. So who's going to be back in time to try and stop it? Emerson trying to hand Zico off, but it's not going to matter that much. As GG, Naughty Boys take the series 2-1 with a base race.
That's the game 3 you want to see. That's the hype ending. The base race was a little close. Is like me racing Usain Bolt. If we were running to McDonald's, maybe be a little bit faster than him, but unfortunately, we were running towards the Nexus exploding. And Usain Bolt kicked my ass. He is a naughty boy, and I am merely a member of CLG. Unfortunately, they lose that base race and they lose the series 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, we were thinking about it before. We're talking about this side lane pressure, the 1-3-1. But again, Starshot getting picked off on that top side of the map really cost them that kind of victory. Jill went down, and they realized they could just end the game. They had the menu wave, they had the inhibitor down. No one would base, and everybody decided instead to just kind of uh instead to just try and take the fight as well. But Cho'Gath is not someone you can do that with. Cho'Gath a lot of wave